Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Mom and Son Podcast.
This is Rose Fres Fausto, FQ Mom.
And Anton Fausto the Son. Our episode today interviews DJ Arthur Tan, one of Enrique's closest friends, his friend since grade school.
Yes.
He used to come over the house.
Oh, so we really know him from prep days, nursery days.
Yeah. And now he's working in New York. He studied there for a while, and now he's working there.
The Big Apple na siya.
Yes, pursuing the music career.
At saka alam mo, do you know, maybe we should tell our listeners that Arthur Tan helped me with the videos of the retelling of The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh, yeah. That's a long time ago na.
Yeah, he did the videos of my interviews with the Finance Secretary, BSP Governor, PSE President, and other important finance persons. Galing. So, look where he is now. He's in New York.
Yeah, so we talk about his journey going there, how he made the decision and how he's doing, because he's been there in New York for a year and a half now. How it was like studying there, how it's like dealing with, people he's not used to dealing with. Kasi wala masyadong Filipino in what he's...
Not his comfort zone.
Yeah.
No?
And we also discussed, and I asked him about how his journey as a DJ started. Where did he learn? And then where does he see himself in the future? All right, so let's get to the interview with Arthur Tan. All right, so recording all the way from Brooklyn. Joining me, we got Mr. Arthur Tan. What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for showing us around. So Enrique's also here. My brother's here. We're here in New York for the week. We're leeching off or freeloading from his friends, Thomas and Arthur. And anyway, so Arthur Tan, many people might already know him in Manila as a DJ, but then now you're here in the States. You're also DJing here, and you're working as a
studio designer. Studio engineer.
Studio engineer
Yeah,
at
Luxor Studios in
Luxor
Brooklyn.
Studio.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're in the Philippines, and then you moved to the States in what year?
I moved here last year, June 2018.
And then how was that process like? Was it something that you wanted to do before pa na you wanted to go to the States, or parang an opportunity popped up and then you just took it?
Yeah, so it was always my plan after college or high school. Like, I'd eventually spend my young adult life in the States. And then later on, like when I was 21, I visited New York again after a long time. And that's when I decided, I think New York's the spot I want to like try my best in whatever field.
So out of the different states, here in the States nga,
Yeah.
New York talaga yung...
New York was, yeah. It was either here or California because my sister was there for most of her life. And I was pretty sold on that area until I saw New York again. And I was like, this is where I feel more comfortable.
So it's been a year and a half now. So how's that
Something
been,
like
like that whole experience?
It's been great. So, a lot of changes, a lot of like surprises, I guess. I had to adjust like the weather, of course. I was not used to that. A lot of like how to interact with people here, how to go about and just like explore again because it's super new. It's like I have no comfort spot.
And you went here by yourself?
Yeah, moved here by myself.
As in your parents weren't with you muna, or?
My mom helped me move in. Of course, yeah.
But it was really you, like when you, like no other Filipinos where you studied and where you work.
No, just me. And it just so happened like I had friends here as well. That was just like
nice, there are Filipinos, and it's always nice to have parang kababayans.
Yeah, like a nice kabarkada.
So
okay. I don't get like homesick.
So when did you make that? When you made that decision to move to the States after graduating college?
I had the decision before. Like I was in college, and it was always like, okay, when I'm done with college, I'm gonna move to the States and just like go get it already. See what's gonna happen. Like take my shot. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't work out, then at least I tried.
Okay, so talking about like transitions and the differences. You've spent how many years na DJing? Do you remember like what age you started? Like this is the age na gana.
Yeah.
I became DJ Arthur Tan.
Whoa. Title. I started dabbling into it when I was 18. Right after we graduated high school. So from Xavier, I had a long free time. Like I always loved music and I always loved seeing the DJs whenever we were at dance battles. So I was a dancer.
There's a way taga how they kind of dictate the energy then and the whole vibe of the whole place. Eh.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just the dancers parang performing it. Parang the DJ has to set the stage.
Yeah. So I always found that cool. Like the few parties I got to attend to when I was in high school, like the DJ is kind of like the one dictating
Yeah.
this tone, and when I was still a super hardcore dancer, like I had like I felt the connection between that. So that's when I became curious into DJing, and then that's when I started looking into it and practicing.
Could you say that your dance background was like an integral part in making you a DJ? Na since you
100%.
dance talaga.
Yeah,
And that connection with music.
yeah. I would give like 99% of influence on how I DJ to dancing. So I always think like
Okay.
because like I was a dancer before, I should technically know what flow in songs would make people
Yeah.
dance because I want to dance to it. So ideally, everyone should want to dance to it.
Yeah. Well, in my experience naman, I got the chance of going to some parties and like a birthday were used fun. And as in it's annoying. What I would say when people talk about DJs, when you mention Arthur, is that parang you read the crowd. So it's, cause there are some DJs kasi they're really good, but then they're only good to this this
Niche.
this target market ganun. But in yours,
Yeah.
I remember it was my blockmate's debut,
I
and
remember
she's
this.
from AC. Yeah, so syempre it wouldn't be like would you play in black market.
Yeah, yeah,
You had, I remember you threw in some Spice Girls.
Yeah, yeah.
When you played it, I was like, okay, like there's it's a skill thing. It's not just playing the songs you wanna play.
Yeah.
It's you have to understand it's like selling a product. Na
Yeah.
It's what's the target market, what's the market need, and then how are you gonna provide it, what are you gonna provide. So how did you learn to DJ? Was it all
DJing.
self-taught?
It's mostly self-taught. So I just had my laptop and then I downloaded a free software, Virtual DJ.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody.
Yeah, I would say like 90% of people in that generation started with that.
You go
because
through that, yeah.
There wasn't a lot of gear back then.
Uh-huh.
So I started with that, just fiddling around with my laptop, and then I would ask advice from my only DJ friend I knew at that time, Jazz Zamora.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to DJ Jazz Zamora. He gave me some tips, and he started playing. He was already playing in a known bar club at that time, Fiamma.
Oh, is this the Fiamma Fresh Fridays?
Fiamma Fresh
I was
Fridays.
never old enough to go to this,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
would see pictures. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
And that's the no, like it's really for dancing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very catered. Like the music was very hip hop at the time when hip hop wasn't super duper duper mainstream.
Mainstream, yeah.
It was very very known, but it wasn't the superest of mainstream music. So it catered to a lot of the dancers in the community, and then the age bracket was mostly us.
So your first parang market of people you DJ to in parties would be dancers, no?
Yeah,
What was there? Did you feel like a transition na you have to learn how to play music for people who aren't necessarily dancers?
yeah. I saw that transition like. I think I remember when levels became a big thing.
Levels as in the song?
Yeah, like
okay.
Avicii.
Yeah.
And that's when like I kind of had to. So I was mostly playing like DJs. I was mostly playing hip hop stuff,
Yeah.
like stuff I would dance to, music I've heard from other dance troops,
Yeah.
and it worked. But then when levels and like EDM start to build,
Yeah.
I had to kind of like appreciate it more, and I do. Like I super love it now, and like I had to change a little bit of
You
my
have to
songs.
adjust.
Yeah, because that's what other people listening to now, not just dancers and even dancers
Yeah.
started listening to it more.
Okay.
So that was like I would say that was a pivotal point, I guess, in the change of my style for the first time was when Levels came out and then Zed became a big thing.
Yeah.
More dance music became
Who
a big thing.
would be your idol DJ? If there would be like one or two that for you is like an all-time great DJ na you look up to.
A-Track.
A-Track.
Yeah,
Okay,
A-Track.
I have not heard of
Yeah.
him yet. I will.
A-Track. So A-Track, just like the dopest part about him were like his highest.
Sorry,
his
he's alive.
He's still alive.
Okay,
right?
okay.
37 or something.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yeah, he was one of the youngest DMC champions. So DMC is a DJ battle competition hold like
Okay.
worldwide, and he won it when he was like 14, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then since then like he just blew up.
Did you ever
even
get
more
to
and
meet
more.
him?
No, but I watched
Not
him.
yet. Oh, okay. You watched
Yeah.
it. You watched me. Okay. Now talking about like how you learn. You mentioned yesterday when you're talking about like DJing in general.
Yeah.
You had to do a Thursday and Friday, or Friday and Saturday 6 hour. This is a
Yeah,
6 hour shift. And people kasi when we think of DJs or when you see DJs, we just see them in parties.
Yeah.
Like they'll be playing for 2 hours, 3 hours. But
Yeah.
then what goes behind that? The preparation behind reaching those 2 hours that we hear in a party.
So, for like, it depends. So if it's like usually you get when I was in the Philippines, like we have designated like different time slots. So we'll have an
Mhm.
opening DJ, a primetime DJ, and then a closing DJ.
Yeah.
That's a general.
Would you
usual
know pala
formula.
why they play so late? Or it's not a DJ thing. It's like
I think it's a club
It's
thing.
it's a society thing.
It's a society thing.
You
a
start at
nightlife
like
thing.
12, no? Like
Yeah.
like if you play at 12, that's
That's
like
usually like the popping
D.
time already. Yeah.
Oh man.
I think that's just like
It's a
it
napping
depends where
time.
you are. Like
Yeah.
depends where like all the establishments like agree. Like okay, we're gonna start
Ah, okay.
our bars at 10 or we're gonna start
Yeah.
at 11. Do people come there? No.
Okay.
So I think they just figured out what time people go.
And you kind of, this is your lifestyle, like you like
I
staying
enjoy
up
it. Yeah, like
Okay.
I enjoy it. I think I'm most productive at night.
at night.
Yeah.
Parang that's how your brain's wired. You
Yeah.
never miss like, ooh, I want to sleep at 10. Wala namang
No.
TV. Not TV.
Like I try just so I can like wake up a bit earlier, but it just I
Okay,
think
so
I'm past that point.
Going back onto that 6 hour shift, yeah. What that was
Yeah.
in here in New
That was
York.
here in New York already.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what was that like?
So that was a DJ job that I applied to. They were looking for a resident DJ. So a resident DJ is just like a recurring DJ for their
Yeah.
every week or whenever they
Yeah.
needed you. And then I applied, I auditioned, and I was able to luckily get it. And the time slot was every Thursday and Friday from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., which is something I've never
Yeah.
done before. But at
You're
the same
like,
time,
okay,
it's like I
dude.
gotta take this chance.
Were you paid for this?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
good job,
okay.
yeah.
Wait, so how do you? Okay, this is a ano na, random question. How do you go to the CR in between your sets, or
Yeah, so you
Have
just have to
water.
like.
you can kind of have a 1 minute naman, and then
Yeah.
you just run and then ano.
Yeah, usually I have like set songs in my head. Like, all right, these are like super long songs that
Okay.
people like the length. So I'll
Okay.
just play that and just maneuver. And you just have to be like, that's where you have to like show how you're polite but forceful. Because if it's a big crowd, you're like, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me.
Okay.
There's no way they're gonna like recognize like, oh, that's the DJ, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
gonna let them through. Some people do, but 9 out of 10 times that's not gonna happen. It's just like,
Okay.
sorry.
Has there
excuse me.
ever been a time where you kind of missed your cue?
Have I missed my cue, like wrong transition and stuff?
No. Example, you went to the CR, you went to the bathroom, and then
Oh,
I can't get back on time because everyone's behind the way.
Oh no, that doesn't happen.
Then it. Okay.
Usually,
how,
like I can feel it. Like I won't make it, then I just run back.
okay. How was there? Could you remember like your biggest, like mess up doing a set?
My biggest mess up doing a
Like
set.
nagka-dead air ba, or not
Oh.
your fault. Like example, if it's a technical difficulty, like not those.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there were 1 or 2 times that I pulled out the wrong wire when I was switching with the other DJ.
Okay.
I'm like, oh,
So it died.
It did.
Okay.
But then I think at the time there was an MC, so he usually saves that. And then
Okay, yeah,
you just
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have like this is my MC when I DJ?
I did when I was still in Manila. So when I used to do like a bunch of college parties, and I would suggest, hey, if you want to add an MC, like this is MC that I always work with, his MC Ace Espiritu. Shout outs to you, man. I hope you're having fun in New Zealand. If you ever hear this. So yeah, he's usually my go-to before. We're good friends, and we had a great chemistry.
Do you practice that?
with
Because
the
it
MC?
sounds I mean, when you look at it, when you listen to it, it sounds choreographed. Eh.
Yeah,
Like the give and take of, and him knowing what song you're gonna play and when the beat's gonna drop.
yeah.
Is that practiced?
We never practiced, but so he used to own Tunnel. And I used to play there a bunch of times, and I think he just kind of figured out my style. And a
Yeah.
lot of the songs I played, like he knew like all of the
Okay.
songs top to end, so it just kind of worked out.
Oh, you got. You really have to know that. Okay, so do you could you say that having that 6 hour shift on Thursdays and Fridays, right?
Yeah,
Thursdays and Fridays. How long was that you kept going every Thursday and Friday?
I did it for about 7 months.
7 months.
Yeah,
What
every week.
stopped it?
It was a management thing where they had to like not get a DJ for about a month or
Oh,
so.
okay.
They told me like they had to fix some stuff. So like okay, and then from then I had to look for another job because
And this is the one you have now.
this is the one I have now. Yeah,
Okay. So those are what goes on parang behind the scenes, no? Kasi
Yeah.
people think na DJ they play in parties ganun. But then
Yeah.
how is your training process since there is no formal school, it's
Yeah.
self-taught. How much time do you dedicate to practicing and perfecting your craft?
I used to practice about every day. So even in college, when I was still like starting out and everything, I used to go to our like common org room, the CADS room.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In Ateneo, and then
You practice there?
yeah, we just like
Oh,
DJ
wow.
there, and like there's just a bunch of people around.
Oh wow, I never got to experience that.
And some
Sayang.
people dance even like a small
Uh-huh.
area, and like if I make a mistake, it's cool. or,
And that's
if
like
it
your
works.
that's your FGD, or that's like your testing group.
Yeah, it is. If it works or
Oh.
not, yeah. So that was like my early like trying.
These are
out
dancers
days.
pa naman.
Yeah, so it
Oh,
kind of worked out.
nice.
That
That's
was
good.
yeah, those were like one of my best like
Okay.
ways to just try out stuff and whatever.
What's your favorite thing about DJing in Manila?
I guess I'm just more comfortable. Like
'Cause-
I
'cause
know
you-
I know the scenes pretty well, so I
Uh-huh.
guess I kind of know what works at what time, and I know I can still kind of see what kind of crowd are there and what kind of music that crowd would
Yeah.
kind of want, just because like I've spent my entire life
Yeah,
there.
yeah. What would be a main difference between Manila and New York's DJing scene?
I've experienced more hip hop DJs here, like super go hard, die hard hip hop DJs. But I think that's also because like New York is where
This is where it
this is
started.
where it
then
started.
also.
This is where it was born. So the influence is very grounded to the core of the people here. So I think
Would
that's
there
one of
would
the
there be
differences,
one
yeah.
that you prefer to DJ in, or is it kind of like based on your mood or
Depends.
something?
Like I love both. Like there are nights here that I've played that nothing can compare to that. But there are nights in Manila like there's no other place
okay.
that no other place. that
Could you
can
give like an
compare to that.
example? What would be like a big difference between DJing in Manila and DJing here? Like, is it something like how do people react, or
Yeah.
what kind of music you play?
Definitely what kind of music I play. So I would say like in terms of the people here, they have a majority of people have a very wide range of hip hop knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they know like start to end of a bunch of songs that in Manila I would just be playing at like 10 p.m. But here like anytime it'll work out, and they know it from start to end because
Well, kasi then in the Philippines, parang the song has to reach the Philippines.
Yeah.
So those aren't necessarily as much as
Yeah.
many songs.
Yeah, so that's also a really big difference. Like I think just the ability to obtain new music is faster
easier
here.
here,
Yeah,
okay.
because whoever you're gonna listen to next could be like your neighbor or just some dude
Yeah.
that you've heard at
And you can actually see them.
a random
Here.
and they're like much more venues. I mean, that's just because the size of the city and the amount of places that play music or have
And
artists.
are there more? Like, is there a bigger party scene here? Are there more places that you that you would DJ in here?
Yeah, there's
in New
definitely
York?
more venues that you could DJ and like different styles. If you go around the different five boroughs, like if you go to the Bronx, it'll be like different kind of music, a lot of Spanish and or hip hop. If you go to
What
Brooklyn,
area in New
different-
York would you say is parang? I mean that's when you're mostly at. Which area of in New
Brooklyn.
York? Brooklyn
Yeah.
talaga. Okay, here.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty much here.
Brooklyn.
Okay. Sige. Next naman, what is your opinion on the notion that I'm sure you've heard this term before, na if you go into this type of career, like a performing career, whether it's sometimes singing, dancing, hosting,
Yeah.
or in your case being a DJ, it's
Yeah.
not sustainable. You know, you hear naman wag ka dyan, gugutumin ka. What's your opinion on this?
I think it's very fair. Like it's really hard to like gauge because there's no like step 1, step 2 promotion after 5 years.
And like a
apply.
fixed salary.
There's no fixed salary, but there are ways around it. Still do what you love and still maintain like a good sustainable life with like a good kind of plan B. At least just to keep supporting you to keep following your dreams. But I guess like the hard line there is kind of like how to get that balance. Like if you get a side job that's completely unrelated to whatever creative creative field that you want, you have to figure out like, am I sacrificing more time of
just to get okay.
to get like revenue versus sacrifice?
So how did you kind of close that gap? How, like, now living by yourself,
Yeah.
how are you keeping this career sustainable for yourself?
Well, cutting costs, of course, but that goes for everyone.
No breakfast.
IF, IF every day, forced IF. I try to look for jobs here that are still very related to either DJing or music.
Music.
Like my studio job is.
What do you do? Sorry, specifically.
I'm a recording and mix engineer there, so I help any client in the studio who's gonna record, or if they want to like fix their music.
And
a
these
little bit,
are
do
these
that.
songs, or what kind of audio files do you
Mostly
deal
songs,
with?
mostly like beats, and then they're like rappers who want to like
Okay.
record their songs or someone like that. So at least it's really close to the music industry in general. So I've met rappers with like great songs, and like I've met them like, oh, you're a DJ as well, like
Yeah.
come out to events, or like they'll get my number and like some kind of
Would
networking.
the live events be your bread and butter? Would that be your favorite, I guess, aspect of it? Because it's a different thing than the in the studio recording, not during a party. What would
Yeah.
be your favorite?
If I had to pick between two, it's still DJing. That's still like performing. I still love performing. That's where I think like the dancing.
Yeah, the performing aspect,
heavily
yeah.
influenced in that because I still love performing no matter what happens. Like, there's no other feeling. And then DJing is just something I've been doing for so long, and I still love it to death.
What's your ano naman? Your big goal or dream, if there's one, when it comes to DJing? Do you want to produce like a, win a Grammy or ay,
Yeah.
Grammy ba?
Grammy.
Grammy, yeah,
Yeah.
win a Grammy or
Um,
do you have that like big audacious dream when it comes to your career?
Of course, yeah. So I'd still want to make it as an artist, as a DJ. So I produce now on the side, like maybe play in bigger venues, perhaps like hopefully travel as well. But I think like the biggest thing that I'd want to hopefully accomplish is actually to fuse like Western music and connect it more with like music from back home, or at least music from
okay.
Asia in general, because
Okay.
I've always had this notion that like people would always say like, oh, if you're Filipino, like you're really good at singing, you're really good at dancing.
Yeah.
But then
You can also be good at rapping and
yeah, rapping or like performing. Like people always say that about Filipinos, but I've
So do
always
you listen
wanted to
to
like
Filipino
have
rap?
that in. I do, yeah, yeah.
There's this negative connotation when it comes to Filipino rap. Like the what I would think na is the general public looks at it as when they hear Filipino rap, parang Jeje yun or
Yeah.
Baduy.
Yeah,
But not necessarily like just because it's Filipino naman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Doesn't mean it's low quality na.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I've never really thought of it that way. Like if your song is nice and it's in Tagalog, then it's a great song. Like
It's just a
no other
different
way.
language
It's
nga.
just a different language. It's a stereotype that's a bit hard to break, I guess, because of however our
Everything's so
media-
westernized.
Yeah, however the media and like creative fields have been stereotypically placed, or like the commercial music and commercial media in the Philippines has this notion already, so it kind of spilled
Yeah.
over to other like performers who aren't trying to go the commercial way, but they're using Filipino as their medium of like language for their artistry or for their music. So it's kind of hard to break that, but I don't see it. Like if you have a good song, it's a great song. If it's in
Yeah.
Tagalog, like I love listening to Shanty Dope's Nadara.
Ooh,
And it's
yes.
full
I love that's my
Tagalog.
favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I love listening to Bawal Clan.
Ah.
What's the listen? The rest are in English, but yeah, you get the point.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, good music is good music.
Good music is good music.
regardless
Doesn't
of where
matter.
it comes
Yeah.
from. Okay. All right. Last now, what would be your advice to people who, let's say, specifically DJing,
Yeah.
the up and coming DJs that they're interested in this career path, this career choice, but then, yun nga, there's no structure. What's your advice to those people?
Just go about it. I think what's great about the new generation of DJing in terms of equipment and accessibility to music is that you have a bigger chance of like at least experiencing it without like shelling out a lot of money
Yeah.
or like
There are
have
apps
to,
na
you have
for
to
it.
like cut a part of your life away just to experience it. Like you can go for it, like you can play at your friend's party or whatever, just to see. Then like if you love it, then keep going about it. Like don't stop, but like at least you'll know at that point.
Yeah, but then you have to at least get to try it out, and it's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. Like if you're like
Okay.
second guessing, should I try to show that? Like why not? Just go for it. There are free applications. It's like almost possible to download any kind of
Yeah,
music.
this is the
accessible.
positive, this is the positive part of yung kaka-computer mo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of parents. All right. Okay, so sige, thank you very much for
Thanks for
your
the
story and your time, and good luck to the rest of your music career.
man.
We'll be listening for you
Thanks,
back
man.
in Manila. Alright. Alright, so that concludes the interview with Arthur Tan. I'd like to thank you again very much for your time and for, well, on behalf of my brother and I, for showing us around, also bringing us to your
Yeah.
parties.
Did you enjoy your New York trip?
Yes, very. Bitin nga eh, bitin eh.
It really opened you up, ano?
Yeah, you really learn different things. Not just about, they say that traveling really opens your eyes to like a different perspective on life. But more than seeing a different place, it's really that it's really dealing with people there. And for me, yung tumatak talaga would be the Filipinos who are working and studying there. And it's really opened my eyes and open potential doors for my future.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exciting times ahead. And it's good because you were able to live with people, be with people, not just doing the touristy things, no?
Yeah.
So, for
You
example,
need to be with a local to know to see the
How's
things
life
that's not on
there?
Google lang. Yeah.
ang galing, no? Because you also lived with an investment banker friend
Yeah.
Thomas Rizal, who was very generous with his hospitality, and Arthur Tan. And in your interview with Arthur, I really liked how he answered the question about your gugutumin question. Yeah, especially as a matter of fact, our listeners might be interested to know that Arthur is the only son of the CEO of a listed company, IMI, Integrated Microelectronics Incorporated. So it's really a challenge, di ba?
Yeah.
Kung corporate superstar yung tatay mo, and then you're going to enter into a different
A
path.
very different path. Outside of the country pa.
Yeah. So if you know anyone who has this predicament, father and son thing, mother and daughter thing, maybe you can have them listen to this
Yes.
episode.
Yeah, sana they can learn something from it. And I hope you guys learn once again from this episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This has been Rose Fres Fausto, the mom, also known as FQ Mom.
And Anton Fausto the son. See you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye.
Mom and Son Podcast airs every Tuesday at 7 a.m. or anytime at your convenience and can be streamed on Spotify, Buzzsprout, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Just search Mom and Son Podcast for your weekly dose of family, finance, passions, and everything in between. For all questions and suggestions on topics or people to interview, email us at antonfausto@gmail.com.